প্রিয় দর্শক, আপনাদের সবাইকে স্বাগত অর্থ সংলাপে। আপনাদের প্রিয় অনুষ্ঠান, বাংলাদেশের অর্থনীতির এগিয়ে যাওয়া, সংকট, সম্ভাবনা সব কিছু নিয়ে আমরা কথা বলি। মাঝে মাঝে বাংলাদেশের স্বার্থ, বাংলাদেশের বাণিজ্য, বিনিয়োগ, বিদেশের সাথে যে সম্পর্ক, সেটা তো আমরা যাই আপনি খেয়াল করেছেন। আজও এমন একটা বিষয় নিয়ে এসেছি আমরা, স্পেন, বাংলাদেশের 4th লার্জেস্ট ডেস্টিনেশন অফ বাংলাদেশি এক্সপোর্টস। খুব বড় ধরনের সম্পর্ক আছে আমাদের অর্থনীতির সাথে, বিশেষ করে প্রায় $2 বিলিয়ন রপ্তানি হয়ে যাবে আমাদের। স্প্যানিশ অনেক বিনিয়োগও বাংলাদেশে এসছে এর মধ্যে এবং আরও আসতে চাচ্ছে। এই বিষয় নিয়ে আমরা কথা বলতে আমাদের সাথে আছেন স্প্যানিশ একজন বড় কর্মকর্তা। তিনি স্পেন ট্রেড অ্যান্ড ইনভেস্টমেন্ট, স্প্যানিশ মিনিস্ট্রি অফ ইকোনমি অ্যান্ড কম্পিটিটিভনেস, একটা বড় সংস্থা, তার ডিরেক্টর জেনারেল আইজ্যাক মার্টিন বারবেরো। তিনি এসছেন ঢাকায় একটা বড় স্প্যানিশ ডেলিগেশন নিয়ে। তারা বিজনেস, এক্সপোর্টস অ্যান্ড ইম্পোর্টস অ্যান্ড বিনিয়োগ নিয়ে কথা বলবেন। সেটা নিয়ে সেমিনার হবে ঢাকায়, বিজনেস মিটিং হবে। তার আগেই আমাদের সাথে কথা বলছেন তিনি। মিস্টার বারবেরো, মিস্টার আইজ্যাক বারবেরো, ইউ আর ওয়েলকাম টু একাত্তর অর্থ সংলাপ।
Thank you very much.
What I told to my viewers, then we'll really diagnose the Spain-Bangladesh trade. What is now? What is your feeling, your government observation about Bangladesh economically?
Well, the country has been witnessing over a decade of very strong growth.
Yeah.
And there has been not just growth but also development.
Yeah.
The country has clear goals for the coming years. There are several international financial institutions such as the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank, which are clearly supporting those developments. And we're here because we believe that Bangladesh holds a very good promise, and we want to be closer partners of Bangladesh.
Then I think, do you think that your observation is different than the 10 years back?
Absolutely. I think
How?
that everyone shares now a much more positive view of the country.
Yeah.
Exports have been going up. The country has been opening itself up to the global economy. There's been an increase in the level of the technical and technological level within the country. And also infrastructures have been improving. Also there are significant plans also for electrification, for water sanitation. And our companies are very strong in those fields, and that's the reason why we're here this time, because we really feel that there is a match between what Bangladesh has decided to do in the coming years and the contributions that our companies might be willing to do to those plans as well.
What, you know, in Bangladeshi rail infrastructure and in some power infrastructure, there are some Spanish technologies as here, even in textile industry here.
Yes.
What other sectors of technology we can bring the Spanish technology you find, and you have to offer?
Well, as you very well said, so far there has been presence in the field of machinery, in general machinery, but specifically in the textile industry. And there have been some very interesting developments in the field of energy, and some work is being carried out also in transport infrastructure. However, those examples have been carried out on an isolated basis. And now we're here because we believe that we can both benefit if we approach that challenge in a comprehensive way. So we want to work together with Bangladesh in the field of climate change, which we think it's a very important issue in this country. In the field of energy, not just generation, but also some other fields as well. And also, as I mentioned, in the field of transportation, both land transportation, railway transportation, and we might also have some opportunities to cooperate in other fields such as ports.
How you can cooperate in the land transport system in Bangladesh? You have to offer Bangladesh.
Well, you know, when a country is growing, as has been the case in Bangladesh in recent years, and it's developing fast, it needs to upgrade its transport infrastructure.
Yeah, definitely.
To our understanding, that's particularly the case both in the railway system, which used to be much more important for the transportation of goods that it is today, where basically inland transportation is carried out mainly by road. And those roads are becoming overcrowded to some extent. So there's a need to develop that. But there's also a need to develop city transportation. And our companies are very strong in those two fields. So if you go out and you consider which are the 10 largest companies worldwide which are managing PPP projects, that's private-public partnership projects, 7 out of those 10 are Spanish. And if you just consider our road system in Spain, you will see that also it has been witnessing a very strong upgrade in the last 2 decades, I would say. So what we have to offer is the state-of-the-art technologies, strong experience both inside Spain and outside Spain, and also a very good working relationship with some of the institutions that are likely to be major players when it comes to financing those works, such as the World Bank or the Asian Development Bank, where our companies are very well known and where our companies operate very effectively.
Fantastic. I have to hear more because you have already pointed out the very good points. I am going to a break and coming to you again. প্রিয় দর্শক, আমাদের সাথে আছেন আইজ্যাক মার্টিন বারবেরো। তিনি মহাপরিচালক স্প্যানিশ ট্রেড অ্যান্ড ইনভেস্টমেন্ট, স্প্যানিশ ইকোনমিক অ্যান্ড কম্পিটিটিভনেস মিনিস্ট্রির একটা বড় সংস্থা। বাংলাদেশে এসেছেন বিনিয়োগ এবং বাণিজ্য বাড়াতে। আমরা তার কথা আরও শুনবো একটি বিরতির পর। প্রিয় দর্শক, ফিরে এলাম অর্থ সংলাপে, ফিরে এলাম বৈদেশিক বাণিজ্য এবং বিনিয়োগ নিয়ে সংলাপে। কারণ আমাদের সাথে আছেন স্প্যানিশ গভর্নমেন্টের ইকোনমি এবং কম্পিটিটিভ মিনিস্ট্রির বড় সংস্থা স্প্যানিশ ট্রেড অ্যান্ড ইনভেস্টমেন্টের মহাপরিচালক আইজ্যাক মার্টিন বারবেরো। Isaac, you told a very good points before the break. You told about the PPP, the public-private partnership project. It's a long discussion in Bangladesh. For many years, we have separate allocation for fund for PPP development project. And you told your companies have experience to deal this project. Will you offer specifically to the Bangladesh government to go to the PP project with the Spanish government or the Spanish companies?
Well, I think that that's certainly an avenue that needs to be explored. That's why we're here this time with 20 companies. Some of them, the companies that are carrying out such projects on a PPP basis in some countries, also in South Asia, but not so far in Bangladesh. And that's why we are organizing that on a what we call a partnership basis. Not only are we hoping to cooperate with the local authorities, with the Bangladeshi government, not only are we calling to that event the institutions that are likely to contribute to the financing of those works, like World Bank, Asian Development Bank, but also it's very important to find the right local partners, Bangladeshi companies with which our companies can operate. And yes, certainly first of all, we want to create the opportunity to exchange views, to better understand each other, because we think that that's a goal. I mean, at the end of the day, the level of infrastructure that the country requires will certainly demand for some of those projects to be carried out on a PPP basis. And it's very important to initiate a dialogue between both parties so that our companies understand the country better, learn what to expect from the local authorities, and the local authorities on their side can better understand how our companies are used to operate, not just in Spain, but in other countries outside Spain, obviously, and more specifically in the region. So, because I think that that's one of the other big pluses of our companies. Our companies are global companies, and they can operate under different schemes. But the one thing that they always need to do is to understand very well what are the intentions, the goals, the visions of the local authorities, so as to see whether that match between what they offer and what the local authorities expect from them is actually possible or needs to be further developed.
You know, in Bangladesh, for the past many national budgets, we allocated $300 to $400 million for PPP projects. But there is much news in media that the government has not been able to utilize this project. And on the other side, we need more billions of dollars in PPP projects like these. Do you think these projects can be a good experience with the foreign parties implementing and foreign parties helping the government and taking the partners, the local parties, and doing the PPP projects potentially? Do you think the potential projects?
I think that PPP projects themselves are very positive because they contribute to initiate a very frank and open dialogue between foreign potential investments and the government. It helps the government to understand better what those investors are looking for, what things can make or break those deals, and sometimes they can contribute to jumpstart those projects in the country. Bangladesh is not different to many other countries in the fact that PPP projects have had some difficulties when getting them started, because it really requires the government to operate in a new way with those investors. Those investors need to operate on a long-term basis. They need to understand well the local regulations. They need to get to understand. They need to feel comfort regarding the management of the risks that they are accepting when going into those businesses. And it is very important, therefore, to get the local government and the investors together and to see those projects not as transactions, not as pure transactions, but as part of the building up of our relationship, which is likely to go on for several decades, because that's the lifespan of those projects, decades. So it's a major issue. It has always been the case. I mean, it is. It's always challenging to initiate those projects. In that case, I mean, in that particular area, I don't think that Bangladesh is different to many other countries.
I find very strong grounds about starting PPP negotiations with the government and the Bangladeshi parties. Definitely, I hope that your project will be successful. Let me come to your recent events you have come to here. I think you are going to show some business events in Dhaka from tomorrow. What will be focused there? What are your offers to offer there?
Well, I think, as I said, this is an exercise in mutual understanding. We've brought about 20 companies so that they can get to better understand the reality here. They can find new potential partners. They can understand and see how the local authorities work here. But also we understand that it's also our duty to make our Bangladeshi friends better understand what Spain has to offer. Not many people are aware that we are world leaders in the field of renewables. Not many people understand that 2 in every 3 planes that are currently flying are managed with software that it's done by a Spanish company. Not so many people are familiar with our strength in land transportation, as I mentioned, or the fact that we have the largest high-speed high-speed railway network in Europe. And it's our responsibility to make that known. So what are we after? We are trying to bridge the gap. I mean, a lot has been achieved in recent years, but we are far away from realizing the full potential of the bilateral relationship. And that's why we're here, because we believe that, as I said at the beginning, that Bangladesh holds a very good promise. And we understand that our vision for cities, for infrastructure, the way in which we are trying to address climate change, also from a perspective that makes business sense, is something that might be of interest to our Bangladeshi friends. And we feel very honored to be hosted by the local authorities and to have been welcomed by the local business community.
Fantastic. So I'm going to break again and coming to you again with to have the knowledge of the state of European economy. প্রিয় দর্শক, আমরা আছি স্প্যানিশ কোম্পানির একজন উচ্চ পর্যায়ের প্রতিনিধি, তিনি আইজেক মার্টিন বারবেরো, স্প্যানিশ স্টেট অ্যান্ড ইনভেস্টমেন্ট, স্প্যানিশ মিনিস্ট্রি অফ ইকোনমি এবং ট্রেডের যে প্রতিনিধি। তার সাথে আমরা আরও শুনবো, তবে একটি বিরতির পর ফিরছি। দর্শক, আমরা ফিরে এলাম অর্থ সংলাপে, ফিরে এলাম স্পেন বাংলাদেশ বাণিজ্য এবং বিনিয়োগ সংলাপে। আমাদের সাথে আছেন আইজেক মার্টিন বারবেরো, স্প্যানিশ ট্রেড অ্যান্ড ইনভেস্টমেন্টের মহাপরিচালক। আইজেক, let me please tell our viewers, how is Europe now economically? How is Spain now?
Well, I think it's a well-known fact that Europe has been going through has gone through difficult times in recent years, and I think it's also fair to acknowledge that in Spain we had strong difficulties. However, I sincerely think that we've turned the corner, that we really are out of the woods, and I think that the best proof of that is the fact that Spain is currently holding the strongest growth rate in the whole of Europe.
Strongest in Europe?
The strongest, yes. We're close to 4%. Hopefully this year.
Fantastic for Europe.
It's. I think it's It's very good news for Europe indeed, because just for short-term as well as medium-term reasons. First of all, short-term, it shows that the worst of the crisis is behind us. But also in the medium term, it certainly shows that those countries that once in trouble are willing to bite the bullet and really push through with what needs to be done, the tough reforms, the sacrifices, the adjustments that are imposed, that actually we Spaniards have accepted, that we have imposed on ourselves, are really paying off. And I think that's the lesson. The lesson is that we had a crisis, but that we know how to get ourselves out of it. And I think that we are leading the way out of the crisis, and that other economies that were also in difficult situations are likely to be following suit in the not so distant future.
Where have from the growth come? Which sectors helped you to come again to growth?
Well, basically, the foreign sector. I think that one of trade and investment. I think that investment during the crisis kept faith in Spain. Maybe investments were not growing as strongly as they had been. They were not as strong as they had been in the past, but they still kept there. Now they're growing very quickly. But above all, I would say the strongest change, the most important change that we've gone through in recent years has been the opening up of our businesses, not of our economy, but our businesses. Our businesses no longer see the Spanish market as their market, but they see more and more the whole world as the potential market. We have more regular exporters than ever before. We have the largest figures of exports that we have ever had. Our external sector as a percentage of our GDP has never been as high. So basically the lesson is, when everything was economically speaking against us, instead of choosing just to turn inward, we chose to pull ourselves out of the crisis by opening up. We chose to export our way out of recession. And that's something which, as I mentioned a minute ago, it's already paying off. But what's most important, I think that's something that will remain with us. That's one of the major changes, positive changes, that our economy has gone through, that will remain with us for the future.
You told that export is paying dividend to you. You are focusing much on exports. Bangladesh industrial economy has also become the export focused economy. Do you find that Bangladesh can be market for not only for the industrial products of Spain? Do you find any potential for you in the consumers market?
Absolutely. I think that as the Bangladeshi consumers see their purchasing capacity going up, and their sophistication going up, that we will see, that we are already seeing the growing of very curious and interest, and seekers of new products and services, a middle class that's looking for new products and services here in Bangladesh. And I strongly believe that there is an enormous potential for Spanish consumer goods in this market. However, again, our companies need to come here. They need to explore the market. They need to understand better the distribution channels, how things work, and they need to build brands so that local consumers get to know them. And that certainly demands time and demands commitment. But I think that there is a huge opportunity in the, as the market is developing, as the society is developing, as the country is becoming more prosperous. Indeed, there is an enormous opportunity as far as consumer goods go.
It's nice to hear from you the potential of Bangladeshi consumer market. I hope that you will find the good market there,
Thank you.
We hope. And thank you, Mr. Isaac, for attending my show and telling many things to Bangladeshi viewers.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for your support.
প্রিয় দর্শক, আমাদের সাথে ছিলেন আইজ্যাক মার্টিন বারবেরো। তিনি স্প্যানিশ গভর্নমেন্টের ট্রেড অ্যান্ড ইনভেস্টমেন্টের মহাপরিচালক, বড় সরকারি কর্মকর্তা। তিনি যেভাবে দেখলেন বাংলাদেশের ইকোনমির পটেনশিয়াল, বাংলাদেশের মার্কেটকে তারা খুব বড় আকারে দেখছেন। শুধু ইন্ডাস্ট্রিয়াল মার্কেট না, কনজিউমার মার্কেটও স্প্যানিশরা আসতে চাচ্ছেন, কারণ তাদের ইকোনমি আবার ফিরে এসছে এক্সপোর্ট লেড ইকোনমি দিয়ে। আমরা আশা করব যে বাংলাদেশের বাণিজ্য এভাবেই বাড়বে, এবং শুধু আমরাই রপ্তানি করব না, আমদানিও করব, এবং একটা দীর্ঘমেয়াদী সাস্টেনেবল সম্পর্কে পরিণত হবে স্পেন বাংলাদেশ রিলেশন। আপনাদের সবাইকে অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ।